The movie ended in the first hour. It was over. The 3 movies I've seen in the last maybe 2 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, this was probably the worst movie. I seen Ballerina. What the fuck is the shit that just came? I mean, How to Train Your Dragon, F1. This was by far the worst movie, and that's saying a lot because F1 probably had the worst story of all 4 of those movies I just named, but this was the like worst from top to bottom. It's not necessarily. It might be a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. It's a bad. I'm not gonna lie. All right, to get the good stuff out of the way quickly, the VFX, the visual effects, good. Yeah, good. The sound, great. They, the Jurassic theme song played for about maybe like 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying, spanning over this movie. But other than the VFX, the sound, and I guess Mahershala Ali, whatever the hell his name is, Ali, his performance, and Scarlett Johansson, those two kind of they were the main selling points as far as, lead actors go in this movie. They did the best. I don't remember the nerd guy's name, the guy who played the nerd, because every Jurassic movie has to have the one nerd that knows everything about every dinosaur. That guy was solid, a little bit cringy sometimes, but solid. It was just a bunch of, but other than those 3, I mean, it was bad. And even with those 3, I was watching 3 people sort of do the best with what they had. Though this wasn't a good script, you could tell. But it was at least good to see these actors didn't just mail it in because they got handed a bad script. Maybe they thought it was good and they just sort of acted their hearts out, because that's kind of what whatever the fuck his name is, Duncan. His name in the movie is Duncan, but that's what the guy, I'm gonna call him Ali or Blade. You know what I'm saying? He kind of, I would almost say, took the show. But that's without me getting into any like spoilers. To sum up my dislike with the movie without sort of spoiling any of it, and to at least hurry up and let you know whether or not you should see it in theaters. First off, I think the movie was extremely simple. This was one of the simplest movies I've ever seen. There was nothing difficult to track with this movie. And it was points in times where I would just zone out because it was just so on the, like, for instance, they're constantly reminding you everyone's motivation. Everyone who's there, they're constantly reminding you this person's here for money. This person's here for greatness. This person's here. And it's like you hear that repeated probably like 5 different times within the first hour. The pacing is another thing I kind of not enjoyed, but at least, I didn't enjoy the pacing. But the pacing was good. It didn't drag, you know what I'm saying? Because it was so simple, and the movie almost seemed short. I don't know what the specific runtime is. Jesus. Yeah, it's shorter than the last one by about 10 minutes. How long is How to Train Your Dragon? How to Train Your Dragon. Okay, it's longer than How to Train Your Dragon, but it seems shorter. Whatever. Yeah, the pacing with this movie was it was good. That was another, I guess, high point of this movie. It really, between the 3 acts, it kind of just moved you through them because there was no plot holes, or really because the plot was so safe. There was no need for them to have to readdress things or anything like that. They didn't really it was really nothing more than just a bunch of people going to go find dinosaurs. And they tell you that in the beginning of the movie. Like, we're just going to find dinosaurs. This is not even a spoiler. What the fuck would you think Jurassic World would be about? But I'm saying, It's nothing more than that. There is no twists and turns. There is no big reveals. Nothing. Pretty early on, you can kind of tell who's the who's the bad guy. You can tell who the bad guy is like immediately. You know who the villain is. You know who the good guy is. You know who who these roles are. You know who they are going to be, and it never changes throughout that movie. Another thing I think this movie, I would say downside to this movie, going along with that, what I said about the plot is just it's a real safe movie. It is extremely safe. This is, I guess, half of a spoiler. This is not a spoiler because there's nothing specific. It's just, well, actually, I might identify this as a spoiler. So I say, yeah, if you don't want it to be spoiled, you know what I mean, you would have to not watch this. But I mean, it's not even a spoiler. They don't kill anything. Nobody who you would not want to die dies in this. There's no sad death. There is no, oh man, I really wish that person lived and they died. There is no, yeah, this is probably a spoiler. Okay, this is a spoiler. So I'm probably just gonna be spoiling the movie from here on. So yeah, I'm gonna cut all of this out. So before I start spoiling this movie, put simply, do I think you should watch this in theaters? Do I think you should catch this on streaming? I wouldn't even watch this shit. If I'm being honest with you, I would bootleg it. It's either, that's kind of how I look at it. Like, bro, should you watch it in theaters, catch it on streaming, or, you know what I'm saying, 1, 2, 3 movies it? I'd bootleg the movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's not even worth. I'm assuming it's gonna find itself on the like HBO Max or something like that. Universal. Who does the Universal movies? Whoever does the. Let me check. Actually, I can check. Where's the last one at? This is on Peacock. Okay, cool. Okay, so. Wait, watch this shit on Peacock. It'll be on Peacock in a couple months. Watch this on Peacock. I wouldn't even do that if you don't have it. If you don't have Peacock, don't watch this shit. If you want to watch this movie and don't have Peacock, bootleg it. Now I gotta go into the spoiler side because to me, like, it's not. I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything with this. It's a safe movie. It's not, for instance, like, it's not. I'm trying to think of a movie that had like a whoa. There is no, and honestly, to be honest, we haven't really gotten a lot of that from movies in recent memory. Like, of those 4 movies that I said I've seen in the past couple weeks, none of them really had a big, reveal. Ballerina kind of tried it with the reveal that I'm not gonna spoil it, but kind of tried it. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it wasn't really a big deal. But this had none of it. Didn't even try. Ballerina, I should say, at least tried. And then How to Train Your Dragon didn't really have no, it's a rehashing of the movie that already came out. So if you don't know what happened in How to Train Your Dragon from 2015 or whatever the first movie came out, I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, it's real safe. So, you know what I'm saying? To spoil it, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, the nerd with the glasses, are pretty much the good guys. Like, they're of the team. They're the good ones who matter of the main team, right? It's the team of about maybe 6 of them or whatever that goes on this excursion to this, dinosaur island. Of the 6, those 3 are the only, early on, those 3 are the only ones that matter. The other 3 are the bad guy, who's the, rich guy. I'm rich. I have a company. This is going to make me richer. I need eggs to be rich. Like that type of, that nigga. Then is 2 other people is this like, French dude, like this, he's like Haitian, like a Haitian dude. He speaks French. So I'm guessing, I think they speak French in Haiti. But, and who's like Mahershala, whatever the fuck his name is, Ali's best friend, or not friend, but friend. They're not best friends. I would say business associates, right? They're cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not. And then the third one is this like stud, woman with a buzz cut. She had like the woman with a butt. She's hands down. She's hands down the worst. She gave the worst performance of this movie. Let me get her name really quick. She was the worst one in this movie. Her acting was extremely cringe. Extremely cringe. Okay. Yeah, and like so this movie has an almost non-existent cast. This cast is extremely small. I'm trying to see who is it this one? Cause okay, you got okay, those are the two sisters. Is it Nina? Is that her? Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this out, obviously. No time for bullshit. Okay, yeah. So this is her. Right? Okay. Well, I want to at least call her by Philippine Velj. What has she been in, or he? Yeah, she. Okay, that's just her look. Like she just kind of got that like nigga look. I'm trying to see what movies has she been in. She's been in nothing. So clearly she's okay. So she's a whatchamacallit. I'm assuming she knows somebody or something like that. She's not very good. Let me see. She's older than me, so I can be blunt. I won't feel bad if she's like a kid or something like that. She's horrible. Okay, so let me act like none of that happened because I'm gonna have to cut all of that out. The character Nina is hands down the worst performance in the movie. She is horrible. Very cringe. Also, thankfully, she's the second to die. I think she's second. Yeah, she is. Because then you got like the Australian dude or British dude, Bobby. That's another. I completely fucking forgot he existed. By the way, this movie only has like maybe 10 people with talking roles. Maybe 10? Let me see. Yeah, maybe 10 people with talking roles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. This movie only has 11 speaking roles, and that's not an exaggeration. I don't know if maybe it's not even that like it's not even the speaking roles as much as it's very closed off. Like it's nobody else in this movie but those 11 people. The only time you even see other people is in the beginning at Mershaw. I'm gonna call him Duncan. At Duncan's bar. I mean at the bar or whatever, like where they it's like this like bar in Ecuador, like one of those outdoor bars, in Ecuador. And that's where they sort of got the Scarlett Johansson like brings the rich guy there because they need Duncan's boat. So they bring the rich guy there and they, negotiate, hey, we need more money to do this. The rich guy's like, fuck no. They like, fuck you. Then he's like, all right, fuck yeah, I'll pay you more money. After that part, there's nobody else in this movie. Until the very end when the helicopter pops up that's supposed to save them. I already said I'm spoiling. The helicopter does not save them. The helicopter immediately goes down. And even then, it was just, oh man, it was just that. It was no actual speaking roles for it. So this movie was very small. It was very small. And 4th of July. It wouldn't be a bad thing if the performances from the only 10 actors and actresses in this movie were good. Not only is it only 10, 2 of them die before they even get to the island. The worst one, the one who plays Nina, she's horrible. She dies right when they land on the island. And then the dude Bobby seemed like an interesting character. I would have preferred they kept him alive longer because he was the only one that kind of had I would say hazy intentions, right? Like he was there for money, But the other two who were also there for money, like Duncan and Scarlett Johansson, those were the other two that, by the way, the Nina one and the French dude, I don't even know. They're there for money as well, but I don't know. There was no, the one nigga only spoke French and he only sort of responded to people talking to him. Nina just sort of made cringy one-liners until she died. And so they didn't have no, but the Bobby dude was a more interesting character. He was the first to sort of grab the gun and start shooting at the dinosaurs when they started getting attacked. Spoiler. By the way, on the way to the island, they got attacked by, water dinosaurs or whatever. But I'm jumping a little ahead because we get introduced to probably the worst father in film history. Now, the dude, all right, so it's the crew though. The crew of those 6 or 7, however many of those niggas were, is them. Then the other side, because it's almost like this movie is kind of split between them on the island and then this family that ended up in the middle of the ocean. All right, so the dad of this family, it's a dad, it's 2 daughters, and it's the older daughter's boyfriend who he hates. They're out on their like family boat. It's not a big boat. It's like a regular, like almost a fishing boat. It's a little bit bigger than a fishing boat. It's like the type of boat you get on and you sunbathe on top of it, and then you go downstairs and eat a sandwich. Like it's one of those kind of boats. They out in the middle of the ocean, and you get introduced quickly to the son. The daughter's boyfriend is like this douchebag. He's not really respectful to the dad, and that type of shit. He's an asshole. So they tried to make you hate him early on, which whatever, he was very hateable in the beginning. Then the 2 daughters, they have just generic personalities, just generic daughter personalities or whatever. The dad hates the nigga. The daughter's like, don't judge him, you don't know him, whatever, cool. They obviously, because it's Jurassic Park, they get attacked by a sea dinosaur, right? The water dinosaur, attacks the boat, kills none of them. Let me just get that out the way. Nobody dies in the scene. I thought it led you to believe the boyfriend might die. Again, these type of movies, they make you hate a character, then they kill the character. They made you hate him, but he came real close to death. They didn't kill him. He ended up was the only one who ended up going through some level of character development. Because after that situation where they get flipped over, they're stranded in water. I'm gonna call them SEAL Team 6, the 6 mercenaries that were going, or whatever the fuck they were, that were going to the island with their like actual like boat. You know what I'm saying? Like they had an actual boat. It was like whatever. It was an actual boat. They get the radio call from them. Oh, please help us. They save them. So then now they're all together on this boat. And on the dad, this kind of makes me think, this kind of made me like, what the fuck is going on? The dad, after he gets rescued in a situation, they pretty much talked to him, and the dad pretty much said straight up like, yeah, I knew there was dinosaur monsters in the water, but what are the odds? Like 50,000 boats out there. Well, who knew I was going to be the one that got hit by the dinosaur? Keep in mind, leading up to before that, the entire time, the daughter, the youngest one, she was like scared shitless because of the potential of being destroyed by a gigantic, swimming dinosaur. So she ended up being right. Okay, cool. Yeah, he like looked at them crazy like, oh, what? So what? I can't be in the water? You know what I'm saying? Just because there's gigantic killer dinosaurs. It was the dumbest shit of all time. But, because it's Jurassic Park, they didn't get it. They get attacked again by the same kind of dinosaur. One of them, the one that attacked the family, though, was like this gigantic one or whatever, whale type dinosaur that they were specifically going there for. Oh, by the way, at this point, you get introduced to the scientist's intentions. You know what I'm saying? His intentions, and along with the rich guy intentions, they kind of have similar intentions to go there and collect blood samples of 3 different dinosaurs. I don't know if it was supposed to be specific 3 or if it was just the 3 that they could, because it seemed like it was just the first 3 that they was able to do it like on. But that one was one of them. Scarlett Johansson like volunteers to be the sniper like and she's a terrible shot, but she eventually ends up shooting the dinosaur, gets the blood, yada yada yada. On the way to the island, they get attacked by these other, you know, swimming dinosaurs or whatever the fuck. Then that's when the Bobby dude gets killed. He, like I said, he's only interested just because Scarlett Johansson, Ali, and him, and I that's, again, I'm not speaking on the Nina and the French dude. They don't matter. They were the only ones that were there for money. They were also the only ones that was there. They were the only ones a part of that team who spoke before they got on the boat. Like, that's the other part. So he had like this, like, he was like similar to Ali, where it was like that action movie type guy, brash, but he was, whereas Ali was sort of like, he had morals and stuff like that. It was certain stuff like, I won't do it. He was one of those kind of guys. He wasn't one of those, I'll do anything for money. That nigga was clearly like, I'll do anything for money type nigga. So they tried to pull a gun from him, like, no, don't shoot the dinosaur. For some reason, I forgot who the fuck told him not to shoot the dinosaur. He said, fuck you, shot the dinosaurs up. That didn't do nothing, obviously. And then he eventually gets eaten by one of the dinosaurs. They just eat him off the side of the boat. And then he had this weird like stare down with the youngest daughter. Like, while he was getting eaten, he's like staring into her soul, like, bro, like almost mad that it was him and not her being eaten by the dinosaur. That's what I drew from it. Like, it should have been you. That's what it seemed like. But he's the first one to die. Second one to die is Nina. When they get to the island, now this was stupid. They get to the island, you can still see in the background, they're probably the dinosaurs that were attacking her. It was probably like 5 of them, of these Spinosaurs, whatever the fucks, that were swimming. They were, you know, gigantic swimming, and they could also walk. You know what I'm saying? Monsters or whatever the fuck in the background, still swimming and circling around. It's just that when they all ended up jumping ship, the family ended up. By the way, this is another reason why the dad sucks. So while they're being attacked by the 5 dinosaurs, right? You got the dude Bobby, he gets killed. The older daughter, she ends up falling off the boat for whatever reason. The rich evil dude, who's clearly evil and he's rich, looks her in the eye. She was trying to call for help on the phone, because this is like the only like point of contention within the movie. It's this part right here. She's trying to take the boat phone and call for help, which, I mean, I don't know why that would matter. Y'all are already at the island. You're in the middle of being attacked by the dinosaurs. Who the fuck's gonna help you? I don't know. But the rich dude gets mad. Like, they end up getting into some scuffle over the phone. She flies out of the open door because she's standing right next to the door that the Bobby dude, you know what I'm saying, died from. So she falls out the door, like, it's like a back and forth. She end up tripping and falling, and then flies off the side of the boat or whatever. The boyfriend, you know what I'm saying, he grabs the like life raft, the little orange thing that they always running with, the girls always running with on Baywatch, like the little orange thing that's kind of shaped like a little triangle that's kind of squared off. It's a hectagon. Is hectagon 5 sides? I say hectagon. The 5-sided thing. Take that, jump in the water to go save her. The dad, this would make no sense. Keep in mind, the 5 dinosaurs are still circling and attacking this boat, including the gigantic one that they got the blood sample on. Like, it's complete hell right now. The dad tells the youngest daughter, we gotta go jump in the water because your sister's in the water and the boat's finna crash. So he takes, I'm assuming she was probably like 6, his 6-year-old daughter off the boat and jumps into the water behind him. Whatever, they didn't die. Like I said, it's safe. Nobody that you would want to die, besides the dad. I wanted him to die eventually. Nobody that you wanted to die dies though. Okay, cool. So after that, they go, the team, SEAL Team 6, they're still fighting the dinosaur monsters. They end up making it to shore. This is the part where Nina, you know what I'm saying? By the way, the boat didn't crash. It's sort of like Ali, he sort of like drove the boat into the shore. He drove the boat into the shore and then it sort of hit a rock. It didn't blow up. It didn't nothing. He just drove it onto the shore. Scarlett Johansson jumped off because she was convinced that the boat was gonna crash too. But they make it to the island. They have all of these like gigantic they have all of these like, you know, emergency provision bags and stuff like that. And like I said, in the there so in the background, maybe off the dinosaurs are probably like a football field away from them still. Just float, they're just swimming in the water behind them. The Nina character, she just plops down like on the bag, like she's just chilling, like we made it. She's still low key, her feet are still in the water, like she's just chilling. And then she gets eaten by the dinosaur. Off the same one that was like a football field away realized, oh, they're not running away anymore, they're chilling. So he comes and get her, finishes the job, finishes her off. Everybody's just like, oh no, Nina, she died. Oh well, and they moved on. Like they didn't care, which I mean, cool, because they're like a ragtag team. But that's kind of not true. They kind of somewhat knew each other before that. It's just the doctor, the nerd doctor, and the rich evil dude didn't know him. Everybody else kind of knew each other prior to that. But they moved on pretty fast from those two deaths, because they never mentioned them again throughout the rest of the movie or anything like that, which they shouldn't. They didn't say nothing. So then now we're finally on the island. Finally doing the shit. And from here to the rest of the movie, it's kind of what you would expect Jurassic Park to be. You know, it's the family is separated. They're sort of just doing, if you were to guess what everybody was doing, you would be right. The dad is trying to fake lead without actually leading because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and he's trying to calm his kids. The older daughter, she's trying to take control of the situation because nobody else will. You know, now he's starting to become more like responsible and show his true colors because the daughter was telling her dad, you don't really know him like I know him. So then he's starting to show like, oh no, I'm actually a nice guy. I put you guys' lives before mine and type shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to save everybody. Whatever the fuck. They didn't get put in any like real situation where he had to like make a sacrifice or nothing. But yeah, like it was just certain things like, oh, I'll go check like that. I'll stay up, you know, and keep watch, like that type of shit. The dumbest part though, from them, was when they're traversing through the woods. They get to a point where they find like an abandoned, you know, facility type thing, and they find a boat. Now the dad fucked his leg up you know, in the whole little kerfuffle on the way to the island. The dad fucks his leg up. Okay, so they, you know, find this little spot. It has a boat, and they have to cross a river, like not a river, but yeah, like a river, to get to it, like a creek. They have to cross it to get to the boat or whatever, to get to like this like life raft or whatever. This made no fucking sense at all. Okay. Instead of the boyfriend going, instead of the dad going, the older daughter volunteers to go and says, you, what the fuck is his name? Xavier, you stay here with them because my dad's leg is hurt. That made no sense. Why wouldn't he go and you stay with them? Anyways, she goes, and immediately once she gets there, she runs into the T-Rex, and then that kickstarts this whole like scene or whatever. She eventually gets them. They all jump on the little life raft or whatever because she, you know, whatever. She had to wake up the T-Rex, whatever. They get on the life raft, flowing down. They're pushing away. The oddest thing with this T-Rex chase, it made no sense because the T-Rex was able to swim easily. Like the T-Rex could have easily just killed them. Now, one may say there was a dead dinosaur nearby covered in flies, so maybe the T-Rex had already eaten. It was taking a nap. But if the T-Rex wanted to kill them, unless somebody would say that the T-Rex was trying to play with him, maybe the T-Rex thought that it was like, I don't know. The T-Rex jumped in the water to chase behind him, caught up to him easily. It was just like the T-Rex sort of swam, not only caught up to him, the T-Rex, the boat's right here. The boat's right here. The T-Rex comes from behind to right in front of the boat, jumps up, flips the boat over, and then everybody's scrambling. Oh no, you know what I'm saying? We're in water type shit. They're flying down the river. It's a river chase. Oh my God, it's all over the place. The T-Rex though is just sort of chilling. While they're all panicking in the water, the T-Rex is just, And then the T-Rex get close to their face and roars. Does the roar shit in the faces and stuff like that instead of actually eating them. Whatever. Then the smallest, the youngest one, the younger daughter, ends up in a little situation where you think, is the T-Rex gonna actually eat her? No, the T-Rex doesn't eat her. Okay, cool. Moving on from that, that was probably the only chaotic portion with that family. I mean, with that before they rejoin SEAL Team 6. SEAL Team 6 goes, catches the second dinosaur sample, which is just from these fucking what are they? Like these, like the giraffe ones, like the long neck ones. They got these like crazy long tails. That one. They get the blood sample from them and then move forward. I don't even remember what the fuck happened after that. I'm assuming they got chased by a dinosaur after that. Because in the situation where they got the blood sample from the giraffe dinosaurs, it was real calm. The two giraffes was like, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to fuck and shit like that. And so they weren't really concerned about that shit. So they got the blood, you know what I'm saying? The nerd is like celebrating. He does the, you know how every adventure movie, once they reach like the frontier, it's always that one character that goes, whoa, and like yells, and you know what I'm saying, and they pan to like the shot of everything to show the scenery and shit like that, the shrubbery, you know what I'm saying? They do that. Then okay, cool, they move forward. Whatever the fuck happens to where they're now at like a cliff, and they have to climb over the side of this cliff to get down this mountain, and then they go and get the third sample from the egg dinosaur. That's when the French guy dies. When they collect the sample from the egg, because the nerd, they stumble upon these eggs. That's why I didn't know if it was intentional or if it was just like, we're just getting the first three we can. But and it's funny because they got all three samples by this point. Maybe an hour into the movie, they got all three. So they now we're at the egg thing, and then the you know, he sticks the thing inside the thing, and he's like, oh, I'm extracting the DNA without killing the egg, even though I don't know how that's possible. You stuck a gigantic syringe inside the side of an egg and drained like fucking 10 cups of egg juice out of it. I don't know how that doesn't affect the egg negatively at all, but you know, he's a scientist, so what do I know? Then the mom comes back. If you watching that, you would know, okay, cool, they're sitting at the nest. Obviously the bird dinosaur is gonna come and tweak out on them, and it did. They fumbled back and forth for a sample. It looked like jizz in that jar, you know what I'm saying? It's funny, I'm not gonna lie, but they fumbled around with it, fought over it, blah 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 blah, and then finally they make it out of the little cave, and then the French dude which is crazy, the French dude tries to like distract the dinosaur or whatever. He ends up getting eaten. He got killed off camera. Like the dinosaur sort of just, what they pan to Mahershala Ali, whatever the fuck his name is, and the evil dude, they're chilling, you know what I'm saying? Like they're supposed to be holding a rope or whatever. They tried to pull him up once he started screaming in French, and then, you know, the dinosaur flies up with him hanging out of his mouth. And that's the death of the French dude. Oddly, the nerd falls off the side of this cliff. He falls like at least 50 feet. And I mean a real like 50-foot fall, but lands on like a palm tree, like the side of a palm tree, and sort of and just falls in the water. It was the luckiest shit, and it was unrealistic because he got up with zero injuries. He wasn't hurt, nothing. He just moved on. But in that time frame, they was able to you know, secure the egg juice and whatever. Cool. Okay, cool. That's all three samples. So that plot line is wrapped up now. Now all that's left is for them to get off the island. Okay, that whole plot line is wrapped up. After that, they gotta move forward. They move forward. A bunch of nothing happens, and then eventually they run back into the family because Ali and Scarlett Johansson was really adamant on, we want to save this family too. We don't just want to leave them while the rich evil dude damn near wanted them to die. It was weird. He like really wanted them to die, but he didn't necessarily do anything. It was just more so like you could see the hope in his eyes that one of these dinosaurs would kill him. Anyways, I mean, would kill them. They run back into the rich family. The Scarlett Johansson already kind of questioned, like, what the fuck are you the reason that girl almost died earlier? And he's like, no, what the fuck, you stupid bitch? Like, no, whatever. Okay, cool. Then when they run into him, the girl immediately was like, that's the nigga that tried to kill me. And like, yeah, so then that turns into a whole thing. But unbeknownst to everybody else, obvious, because this movie is, I mean, it's almost like stereotypical stuff. I wouldn't even say not stereotypical, cliche stuff. The evil guy has to have a gun. So walking through the forest, he stumbles upon like a fucking helicopter that got stuck in a tree, and like the pilot had a gun and flew out the front. He's hanging out the front of the helicopter. It's like bones now. It's been here for like a zillion years or whatever, right? He's hanging out the front of the helicopter with a pistol in his hand, and it still works and shit like that. So I mean, I don't know. He gets the pistol, right? Again, unbeknownst to everybody, nobody knows he has this pistol. So then now in this point of conflict, when the girl pops back up and, oh my God, he tried to kill me, he has the pistol in his hand. And then he was like, all right, everybody calm the fuck down, shut the fuck up. Scarlett Johansson, give me the briefcase with the 3, egg DNAs in it. And then, let's behave like civil people and we'll get the fuck up out of here. The helicopter's on its way. By the way, the helicopter is on its way. Okay, cool. They, argue back and forth a little bit more, but then they like, all right, fuck it. He is the nigga with the gun. So then they move forward. They find another like facility, like a gas station on the island. I don't know. Maybe in one of these past movies there was like a gas station plopped in the middle of the island. I don't fucking know. But that's what happened. It was like a 7-Eleven was just there. And they run into another dinosaur. They're in a heated exchange with another dinosaur, and eventually they jump into the sewer because coincidentally there's a sewer system with no actual sewage in it. It's just sort of like an underground tunnel system all through the island, which kind of makes sense. I think theme parks in real life do that, where they got like I think I've heard something about theme parks doing that, like Disneyland. It's like underground tunnels there to help, transport, Mickey Mouse from one side of the park to the other without being seen. That type of shit. Well, that's what they had. Water down there, they come across this lab, which this is another thing that just didn't matter when it happened. They go into this lab and like they see these experiments or whatever because they started, mutating the dinosaurs or whatever. This doesn't really matter. It's just a science guy was like, oh, this is the lab. Oh, like it was some big reveal. It really didn't matter. But one thing that did come from that though was the gigantic mutant T-Rex monster thing. Obviously all of these movies has to have one final gigantic dinosaur trying to kill him. Well, this was that one. It already kind of broke out, I guess, or something. It was already out. It wasn't like it like broke out of its thing. It was just walking around, and then eventually they run into it. They run into it. The fucking gigantic dinosaur. There's a back and forth. Oh my God, the gigantic dinosaur kills the bad guy again. All the people you wouldn't want to die survives this movie. I might cut all of that out just to save it, just as far as time wise. This was the most irritating part when, all right, so for them to like get to safety, they found that there was one last like boat left on the dock nearby or whatever. We got to get to this boat. It's like a motorized boat, and they're gonna take the boat to freedom. Okay, man. They get to the boat. They get to the dock. By the way, the little girl, she was. I remember I told you the little girl was faced with the T-Rex. Now the little girl is faced with the gigantic mutant T-Rex thing that's like 20,000 feet tall, right? She faced with that thing, and she has to open the gate to free everybody from the fucking tunnels or whatever, so they can come and whatever. She does that, by the way. Again, all sacrifices. There was no sacrificing in this. Nobody made a sacrifice. Things just sort of happened, and nobody suffered any consequences from it. Nobody even like suffered the most. Think about it. For 2.5 hours of running around an island full of dinosaurs, the most somebody got hurt was the dad like twisting his ankle on the boat in the beginning of the movie. That was the worst thing that happened to anybody. But eventually she opened the gate. they're trying to get the boat down or whatever, the lifeboat down, but they can't because the chain is stuck. So Ali volunteers to, distract the gigantic dinosaur because they find out pretty quickly that the dinosaur is sort of just going to wherever light is. There is just running towards light, and they had like a bunch of like lights and shit on them or whatever the fuck. So he takes the flares. By the way, they have flares. He takes the flares. Dinosaur, come kill me. All right, this is the worst part. So he makes this sacrifice, right? So he takes the flares, he jumps into the water, swims away from them to buy them enough time to get on the boat and leave. They show him getting cornered. He is cornered. He's up against a tree, laying down like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I sacrificed myself for a good cause. I'm fine with dying right now. He's fine with dying right now. Okay, cool. The dinosaur's right in front of him. Okay, cool. They then cut to the rest of everybody else jumping on the boat and getting ready to, leave and shit like that. And then they all like, man, it sucks, man. He died, but he died for us, man. It's okay, man. Fuck. That was a real brave sacrifice. Okay, cool. Yeah, that. So yeah, it was a real brave sacrifice. All right. But then in the background, you see a flare pop up. And they will not, he shoots a flare through the sky. He got another flare stick in his hand or whatever. He's alive. Oh my God, Duncan's alive. Whoa. And he's sitting there calling them, hey, everybody. Where the fuck did the dinosaur go? Maybe they showed what happens. I don't think they did. They cut away. They cut away. They cut to them like, oh man, it sucks. Like, oh, he died. What the fuck happened to that dinosaur? I don't know. But, maybe he killed him. I'm going to say Mashallah Ali. Okay. He uses his blade powers. He kills the dinosaur, I'm guessing. They flare. Cool. He puts a flare up to save them. They all jump on a boat and live happily ever after. That was the end of the movie. They didn't show what happened afterward. Oh, throughout the movie, my bad. Scarlett Johansson's character development. So in the beginning, her thing was, she has no family, by the way, or whatever. It's just her. Her thing was, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because their thing was selling the DNA to like a medical company so they can make medicine out of it and they'll all get rich. Scarlett Johansson, that was also her angle. The nerd nigga was like, oh man, we should just, give it. He kept saying it throughout the movie. Because like I said, they keep reminding you everybody's motivation throughout the movie. She keeps saying, I'm gonna get rich. And then the nerd keeps saying, oh, well, we should, save the world. And I love dinosaurs. Well, eventually, on like the 15th time, he finally convinces her, you know what I'm saying, maybe we should save the world and not, because in real life, and this is the case, and whatever. If we sell it to a pharmaceutical company, they're going to jack up the prices on it, and only one company will have it, and then it'll pretty much put a whole bunch of other people's lives, like fuck you to them people, the ones who can't afford it. What we should do is just, freelance it or whatever the fuck. Just give it to everybody and everybody can make medicine from it, blah, blah, blah. That type shit. So she eventually, like I said, after probably like the 20th time of him mentioning that shit, she like, all right, my nigga, I'll do it. So then, she agrees to that, like, probably with 30 minutes left in the movie. Like I said, so when the end comes and they all jump on a boat and ride off into the sunset, it was like, it seemed like something was still missing from the movie. Plot was wrapped up. They wrapped up the plot in the first hour. The plot had already been wrapped up in the first hour. It was, once they got the egg juice, they were done. The movie, you can honestly, if you watch this movie, soon as they get the egg juice, you can walk out of that movie knowing, again, take these two things. If you do see this movie on streaming or if you go to theaters to see it, soon as they get the juice from the egg, turn the movie off or leave. Go watch something else. Go do something else. Because as long as you keep in mind the fact that no one that you didn't want to die died, you're good. So you're not going to miss out on, oh my God, what happened? They all lived happily ever after. Again, the worst injury was suffered in the first 20 minutes with the nigga twisting his ankle. It's fine. You're fine. You're not missing nothing. It's over. So they pretty much spent the whole second hour just trying to look for a way off the island. That was pretty much it. It was just running around until they found the boat, and then they in a little scuffle and run around, and oh my god, the dinosaur chasing. Nobody died. Again, the last person who died was the rich dude at the end, but that's the guy you wanted to die. He just got ate. He just got picked up and bit in half or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. So again, final verdict. Should you go to the theaters to see this shit? No. Should you wait and watch it on Peacock? No. You should watch it on bootleg. I would say watch this one on bootleg. I would say this is a bad movie. This is a bad movie. This is a bad movie. Fuck, this is a bad movie. I'm glad that I didn't have any hopes going into this. I don't care much about Jurassic Park and shit like that much to begin with. This was not a good movie though. It just was not a good movie. So, you know, hey, I don't know.